We are going live. We are going live. We are going live. Let's see how this works out. Big cough. Big cough. Big coughing. I don't know whether I'm live or not. I could be live. I think I'm live. Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? So at times like these, I'm reminded why I no longer live stream, because what can go wrong certainly will go wrong. Normally, nice and easy procedure, load the videos up, play them, not a problem. For whatever reason, tonight, video isn't working, won't load up into... Hell, the computer even turned off. I can't put the live screen on. Phenomenal. So with this spirit, I decided to crack open a drink and just enjoy my evening with everyone here. How are we all doing? I'm going to bring up the chat so I can at least see what you're saying, get a little interaction, because last week was so good. I really enjoyed last week, to the point where I want to do live streaming even more than I have been already. But, oh God, if it's like this, it's going to be a tough ask. Hello, Johan. Hello, Heresy Era. How are we all doing? In tonight's episode, what we have proposed, what we have for you, is going through a Dreadnought course. So this was held at Little Legend HQ a few months ago now, where in one weekend I'll show you all the tips, all the tricks, everything that you need to know to paint a Dreadnought. We're here at Little Legend HQ. You can see, look at the chair down there. We're above a couple of bars. It's hopping here in Swansea. It is hopping because it's been an air show. So we've had the red arrows fly over, hellishly loud. Another reason why I'm a little bit on edge today, because I thought I'd just have jet engines screaming in the background, completely interrupting everything. So we're going to see how this goes. We're going to see exactly if this even plays at all. So in tonight's video tutorial, if the damn thing will play, which it currently isn't, or you can see my hand gently shaking. Oh, you can see how jittery it is. This is going to be a good one tonight. Producing the pre-shade. We have done an entire series on the pre-shade, why it's good, what you can do with it, how you can build on it, not only with infantry, but for characters. It is the same process that you go through with Dreadnoughts. So I've pre-shaded the vehicle. You can do this in multiple different ways. My preferred methodology, using good old-fashioned Medea Com Art White. Now it is a little bit cruel recommending this because you can no longer get this. Oh my God, and then we go super duper fast. Oh, it's so quick. Jeez Louise. Okay, so we got on screen, loaded up, finally, our Dreadnought ready and primed, ready to go. God, look how fast that all moved when it really wanted to. So this is the state of the Dreadnought just before it's being primed. And, oh good, I'm glad, even in the past I'm experiencing issues. Okay, common issue with the airbrush, it clogs up. What do I do? Not so easy fix. There's a few ways around this. One, use a really fine ass airbrush. So the one I'm using is the Iwata HPC. It is possibly the finest airbrush known to man. The way, okay, again a little bit, I'm going to teach you how to finger, okay? So you have the needle sitting in the slot at the front in the nozzle. Now, because the way this is manufactured, this is very tight up here, so it doesn't leave much way for paint to clog the inside. So that's one way to avoid clogging with your airbrush. Spend a lot of money. Brilliant. I'm sure we all love hearing that. The second way you could go about avoiding clogs, it's slightly simpler. Use more satin medium in your mixture. So the satin medium helps slow the reaction time of the paint, and you'll notice, especially with paints like Monument Hobbies, they feel slightly more luscious, more unctuous, more gel and visceral, and it just feels different from a regular Games Workshop paint, say, for example. That's because the amount of satin medium that's front-loaded into the formula. That means that paints like Monument Hobbies have a harder time drying within the cap. So a couple of different methodologies we can use here. Use a really cool airbrush. 2, use Medea Com Art White that you can't get anymore. And use satin medium. Probably the easiest of the solutions. but I'm glad you can suffer with me through this. Okay, so let's have a look. Please play. Please pray. Please play. It's not going to play. So this is going to be still images tonight, I feel, but that's okay. We'll make do. We'll make do. We'll manage. Let me know where you're all watching this from, because this is absolute torture right now for me. So at least let me know where you're watching from at the moment. So the whole thing behind this Dreadnought is it's a part of a much, much larger commission, and I need variation between a lot of them. And they're all going to be World Eaters, late era World Eaters, so lots of white, lots of red. How do you make that look interesting? Well, you can vary the color plates, or you can just paint the entire damn thing red. Okay, let's zip it along, and that's exactly what I chose to do. Oh my lord, is it actually working now? Okay, it could be working. So when we airbrush the miniature, we're looking at around 30 to 35 psi, depending on the kind of airbrush you use. I like the sweet spot of 35 psi. I like punching the color onto the miniature, but you do end up with things like this, unfortunately. See if I can zoom in. No, it's not allowing me to zoom in. Great. Okay, you can see like the spattering that's on the side of the shoulder pad right now. The atomization of the paint just isn't clinging on. The atomization is too fine, and it's not adhering to the miniature. Do not panic. Do not worry. Do not keep loading paint on here. That's the worst thing you could do. Instead, take a deep breath. Like I'm taking a deep breath now with this feed not working, with the video not working, with me barely holding on, drinking the Corona. Take a deep breath, and by the time you've done that, the paint would have been dry enough for you to just simply add a second layer. And that's the real key. That's the secret. Taking your time, being patient, and just giving the Dreadnought time to build several consecutive layers. And that is the real secret here. So so we have appreciated Dreadnought. Look at that. Look at that beauty we have there. You can kind of see the structure hanging up beneath it. It might be worth even talking about the structure of the appreciate, since this is an ongoing theme within the Patreon. I run a Patreon, by the way. Sign up $15, get access to everything. Best $15 you'll spend tonight, unless you're drinking Corona. Corona, if you want to sponsor me, get on it. But the appreciate, there's just so much more you could do with the appreciate than you may initially realize. So where do you want to appreciate the Dreadnought? Top of the carapace is a big one. Head, you always want to focus on the head. The chest, and it's divided into this piece along the chest here. You can see it kind of how it cuts. So what I'd like to do is angle the airbrush like downwards to catch the white here and leave like a lip of shadow underneath, and then along the lines of the leg. So you can see a little bit of the structure still shining through here. Okay, as this progresses, let me know where you're watching this from. Let me know what's happening in your lives. So I'm currently we're doing this from sunny Swansea, South Wales. It is summer, though you'd be hard pressed to know, because it's been raining all day. I'm sodden. I'm sodden. I can't get these goddamn videos to work. There's an air show outside, jet engines blasting over my live stream. But let me know where you are in the world. Hacks, Heresy era, yo, yo, yo. Okay, we have 6 viewers. I do not blame you. Half of what we had last week, because the goddamn video won't play. Oh, for all American viewers, happy 4th of July for yesterday. Hope you enjoyed yourself. So the appreciate we were applying here is basic. I don't want to say basic. It undervalues this, but you can take this on a few stages. You can add metallic work underneath first before you apply this. Add hairspray and then apply it and then chip it away on top. That's something you can absolutely do. But this is where the Dreadnought ends up after the pre-shade stage. So nice even coverage across the entirety of the Dreadnought, but you can still see that underlying structure. You don't want to blast over the pre-shade. You simply do not want to get rid of it. You don't. God, now my. Oh, it's all falling apart. It's all going wrong. So you don't want to simply blast over your pre-shade. You don't want to get rid of that at all. you still want to see a little bit of the structure. Oh, and look, I've made a mistake. Good. Because whenever you make a mistake, God opens a window. Okay, so this is where the Dreadnought ends up after the pre-shade stage. Let's move on to this Dreadnought. Okay, so it might be worth explaining this one a little bit more. There's a lot of Dreadnoughts in this army. How do you break them up? Well, I had the idea, okay, red shoulder pads, obviously, but I like the idea of this Dreadnought stomping through so many bloody battlefields. It stained his legs red, and the blood spatter was a splatter. Spatter, I think. I was told off for this online before. I can't remember which one it is. Spatter, I think. The blood spatter on here just permanently marked the vehicle at this point. He's been marked by Khorne. Or the serfs just can't be bothered to wipe off the blood anymore, or they're all dead. Choose your option. Either way, I really like the idea that this is the start of the rot. This is the gradual progression from the white and blue color scheme into the red color scheme of 40k. Nails hitting hard with this video, Jets and Mike. Oh my God, yeah, I could feel the nails singing in the back of my head trying to set this thing up. That's why I'm a few minutes late. But if you are enjoying these, most weekends I will be streaming at this time on a Saturday. Hopefully it goes a lot more smoothly than this has. But every week we'll be covering a different subject. Painting, so if you have any questions, if you want to see anything specific, well, ask. Now is the time. There are 4 people viewing right now, so you have the forum, my friends. You definitely have the forum. You can ask for whatever you like. Okay, we have a handsome assortment of colors. Look at this. All different kinds of colors. What are the best colors to use? Wherever you can find. So I get this question frequently, what are the best colors to use? I'm trying out the Formula P3 paint. This is Khador Red here, which is a wonderful color to highlight World Eater Red or Khorne Berserkers. Then there's another color on top of that is recommended. That is a phenomenal color to use on top. Okay, so running through the airbrush, making sure Duncan is watching this. Hello, Duncan, if you're watching. He'll never watch this. Okay, so this is the great thing about the pre-shade. Okay, you can still see the underlying structure of the piece. You can still see it poking through. Let me just enlarge this because this is something we really need to concentrate on. You can see the beam of light on the top of the vehicle carapace with the shadow either side of it. That's a good reason why we keep the pre-shade the way it is. So I've just airbrushed my first layer, 35 psi. The paint has been thinned down. Oh God, roughly in the region of something like 2 portions paint, 1 portion thinner, there or thereabouts. It's edging its way towards a glaze, but I'd still consider a layer consistency. Okay, so when we airbrush this, we want to pigment the paint. You can see it's starting to develop very nicely, very nicely. Okay, and I'm overlapping those areas of the white that were shown through. Shown through, yeah, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna drink my Corona. What's everyone working on at the moment? Johan, I know you're working on World Eaters. I know you're a World Eater fan. Hacks, what are you working on? Heresy Era, God, what aren't you working on? What's your next video that you're putting out? Absolutely love the style and just everything about your channel. It's a real pleasure to have you on board. And if you want anything painted for your channel, get in touch. Love to work on something for you. Okay, so here is the 2 coats of the Khador Red over the top, and look, that just really pops. Now, when it comes to World Eaters, Word Bearers, having that dark red but pop, it's a really difficult tightrope you need to walk. And I feel like this red gives it. It's nice and desaturated. It looks like old blood, like the kind of blood that picks up underneath your fingernails, without going too bright, which is what you do not want with this scheme. You don't want bright World Eaters. Okay, let's move on to the next video. Let's see what we got in store for us. Okay, moving on to the red and white Dreadnought. Purple. Purple comes into the fray. It's one of my favorite techniques to paint red with. We're going to see if there's any questions for anyone. Hacks, trying to decide on the color scheme for the Badab War S custom chapter. Which chapter are you doing? I was looking at this chart today because the Salamanders have some wild schemes in there, and the original Firehawk scheme, the one with a like nuclear bomb on there, that goes so hard. I'd love to see that kind of scheme. Actually, I can show you something. I've been working on my own just before the announcement of Heresy 3.0, in fact. I was looking through my old collection. I thought, do you know what would be cool? If I go back and do Badab. You know, it came to that point in the year where Badab reared its ugly head again. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool to like convert a Huron? I bought the a Terminator set, the special characters from Games Workshop, which is like a 5th edition style. So I dug up all my old 5th edition miniatures. I thought, oh, I got quite a nice big substantial army here. And I decided to repose Huron into the slightly more commanding pose. So this, I'm not starting Badab. I am not starting Badab in any way, shape or form. Not a chance. No, I'm not doing it. No. But I am rather pleased with that. And what else I've been up to today? A little bit meandering. It's going to be that kind of stream. I think I've stumbled upon my perfect Dark Angel recipe for the next edition. Check this out. Does that work for people? Let's zoom in a little bit. Whee! Look at that. So this is a Cacophony Marine. This is Galvoback and the new Sonic. No, are they called Sonic Marines? Let's go with it. The new Noise Marines. New Noise Marines. But I wanted a luscious. Let's go with it again. Luscious, unctuous black. I wanted a black that looked diseased, that almost like oversweet. That's the kind of black I wanted to create, oversaturated. But I've kind of stumbled unwittingly on my Dark Angels black scheme. I'm going to be painting the new Saturnine box in. And hopefully I'll have like a dedicated video tutorial on this, because this was just a pure accident. I made the mistake of not filming these. I filmed the faces, but I didn't film the black armor because I thought, why bother? Because I already have a Cacophony tutorial up already. Silly me. Silly me. Okay, let's move on to this. Yeah, absolutely daft. But I will be painting the new Saturnine Terminators Mark II. Saturnine. I'm going to be painting those next week, preparing Legion guides for them. It'll be up on the Patreon next week. But we're here to talk about some gnarly Dreadnoughts. Purple. So when it comes to painting red, I love using purple. Any long-term students of mine will know this. It helps saturate the red. So we've built our base coat up black, white, red. Now this can leave the shadows looking quite brown and uninteresting without depth. You whack a bit of purple in there, in this case purple ink, and this color is more like a wash, so I didn't really have to glaze it down that much. But I whack this in the shadows to help resaturate them, give them a really harder pop on there. You have about half the total Huron models Games Workshop sold. Yeah, all in power fists. Like that guy has the best power fist in any edition of the game. It is ludicrously good because unless you have owned the Huron model, have seen it, you can see his hand on the underside of the power fist. It's crazy good, crazy good. Okay, hi everyone. Did I just miss the perfect DA scheme? Yes, you did, Tommaso. Sorry. Hacks, I'm also trying to make up a new chapter. You're trying to make up a new chapter? Come on, give us your own lore. Give us your own chapter. What is your chapter? I've had an idea for my own chapter, like the Little Legend chapter. It's not called that. It's based on a Scouring era Blood Angel force that just kept on crusading. Couldn't recall them because they were too buttfuck crazy. Okay, Dreadnought. What legions are we collecting in this next edition? I'll be painting the box set in a Dark Angel scheme. So I've stumbled upon my favourite Dark Angel scheme I've ever done. But of course I'd say that because it's the most recent one. And conveniently, it is the easiest Dark Angel scheme to paint. Just need to work out a recipe for the red, the trim, the Deathwing symbols, and we're away. Box set. What are we all painting the new box set in? Or rather, okay, more interesting question for the community. Oh, we're coming up to an interesting bit here, so I'm going to pause it here just before I start wrangling this thing. Interesting question for the community. What is the best Legion to paint the new box set up in? I'm not talking like game-wise because we don't know anything about the game, but thematically. So Duncan Rhodes said about the Last Leviathan box set, I declare, as Duncan Rhodes, he sat up on his hill on his throne, and he said, I declare that the best scheme you can use for Leviathan is Dark Angels, because you have green, Ravenwing with the black, and you have bone color. So lots of different colors, lots of different options for it. So Dark Angels are the best for that. I would argue that Dark Angels are also the best color scheme to do the new Saturnine box set in. Because you have all those flat areas to deal with, the shoulder pads, the new Dreadnought. You could paint those in Deathwing colors, and then you could do the checkerboards, and you could put decals on them. They have some of the best decals in the Heresy. There are so many different options to include different color schemes and layer meaning in each of the units. I'd love to paint them in Night Lords colors as well. Not because I think thematically they suit the Night Lords at all. Maybe they do. Argue in the comments, or tell me in the comments. But because all those flat areas are just begging for lightning bolts. They're just begging for lightning bolts. And I mean, I've even, oh, can I show, I can't show you this. But on one of these guys, I've got some of the new Emperor's Children, like dead man bits on there. Like the hanging hands, the chains, that kind of thing. You can put like little playing cards, tarot cards on them. I think the Night Lords make a wonderful, wonderful base scheme for the Leviathan box set. But what are we saying? Okay. Chapter. By the way, Companion's Power Fist is pretty good too. Indeed it is. Been working on second edition 40k models. Yeah, I know. I wish I bought that set. I really wish I bought that set. Can you go into where you put highlights on the Contentor's legs? Okay, yes. Do we have any footage of that? Let me see whether I can bring up the pre-shade. Okay, this is a pretty good angle of it. So we can see okay. Why do Heresy artists insist on inverting highlights? Why do we do it? It is infuriating. I know, because light should sit up here, right? It should sit up the top and gradiate down to shadow. So this technique is called panel modulation. Instead of looking at where light would naturally form on the miniature, we instead look where we can give the biggest visual punch to our work. Now, when you use zenithal light in miniature, if you actually look at the structure of a zenithal light, it's quite boring. Most of the miniature is left in shadow, and it doesn't really give much dramatic lighting. Whereas when you think of like lighting from below, look at this. Look at my face. Look how much more dramatic it is. Or you could put it off like lighting to the side. You know, you could do so much more interesting things with light than just a simple zenithal. And we're artists, like we interpret reality, but we can still retain some confines of military scale modeling. So that's the reason why we put shadows and light. And that way every panel becomes a puzzle. We have a light panel, put a dark next to it, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. That's why I've chosen to put dark up here and add light along the bottom. Another more practical reason why I've chosen to put light on the bottom is it makes the weathering look better. Because if I'm weathering on a dark surface, unless I use a dark weathering powder, it's not going to really show up. So if I use a lighter tone at the bottom in my color, I can do all different kinds of bits with it. And when I come to this stage, so what I'm doing here, at the very start, at the outset of the tutorial, I airbrushed the miniature with a metallic paint. I used hairspray, 2 clear hairspray layers over the top. I've added water across the entire thing, and now I'm chipping. So what that does is dissolve the hairspray, and I can chip it. Really old technique, really old skill by military scale modelers. I love this technique because it gives very natural breaks in the armor. You can create little pitting, little chips. You could create like indentation marks, like along the side there, where it's hammering against the ground, and little rocks and stuff are flying up against it. You can create creases along the sides of the armor. You can even do like bullet ricochets across it because you are physically damaging the armor. So I hope that answers your question. Right, okay, I'm thinking of Iron Hands for the new box set. Iron Hands would be an excellent shout for the new box set. Istvan, all that Mark II armor, really nice plain open areas to exploit. And if you do it in, I've done a video on the traditional Forge World scheme. It looks great. It does look really good. But my God, is it a ball ache to pull off. If you're a masochist, jump onto the Patreon. It's all there. Every Legion guide, every Legion, we've covered it. Not only we have PDF support and full video support. And most of the Legions, they do come with their own Primarch video tutorial, all for $15 rather. Okay, so you can see here, look at this, look at this, look at this. Let me zoom in. This is a great point to, I really love this stage. I really, really love this stage because look at what we've produced. All that natural, and even like the white base coat is starting to show through a little bit. So you have like multi-level damage here. I am a dork for this kind of stuff. Now I'm using a really stiff bristle brush for this. You can use a knife, a blunted knife. You can use like the things that you use to clean your airbrushes out with. Anything that you could do like surface impact damage with, you can use. Now, be careful because you can strip more of the paint away than you may initially wish. So just be very careful with this. If you want a more in-depth explanation, you know where you can go. Sounds like a used car salesman. Okay, that's it. I'm turning off my lights. That's it. How much of this? Okay. So let's chip up more of this beast. Okay. So I'm using like the flat of the brush along here. I mean, how many people have done this? How many people have had success with this? How many people have had horror stories with this? So the Mournival podcast, he's doing the traditional Space Wolf scheme, and gorgeous it is too. Okay, you can see I'm using a different tool here to help smash up, add chips and damage and battle damage to this piece. So I'm using this thing is meant to clean out airbrushes, but I like the metal thing on there to chip it up. Okay, here's me explaining something. So all this footage was taken from a Dreadnought painting course held at Little Legend Studio HQ. We do have a couple of courses coming up at the end of, in the middle of this month. We do have a bust painting course. It's a custom bust we've had sculpted specifically for this course. But I think the really exciting one is the Primarch Horus course, which we are hosting in September. One weekend, one Horus Lupercal. You will have a painted Horus by the end of it. Okay, I'm taking a blunted knife. This is a blunt knife. This isn't a sharp knife. And I get questions like, doesn't it just go straight through to the grey? Doesn't it go straight through to the model? No. No, I'm not. I can moderate my strength. Okay, I'm not just going and smashing it through. No, I can moderate just how neatly or how I can do it. Okay, don't use your full strength on every swing of the bat, so to speak. Okay, so that's on the red Dreadnought. And chipping red like this is really difficult to do because it's already a dark color and we're using sort of like a bronze underneath it. So it's a black base coat. I used, what is it? Aged copper from the Dark Star range. It's a really, really dark metallic color. Then you put the white on the top and then the red, and it chips up like this. So if you're looking chipping for red, this is it. Okay. We are continuing on with our chipping odyssey. So I'm using a sanding board now to see what different kind of textures I can create, one feeling of it. I wait a few hours before chipping. When did I do this? It wasn't that long. I showed people how to do it. About 20 minutes. I dove straight into it. Yeah, and I didn't use an intermediary layer of gloss either. I've seen some people do the metallic layer, gloss, then you apply the color over the top. I just simply don't think you need it, or I'm impatient. These are the results I get anyway. So I mean, if I know it works, I just use it. Okay, what else we got? Okay, by the way, you'll be painting the new models in the brand new Dark Angel scheme. It's quite exciting. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Look at my hand. Look how great my hand is. I may actually paint something. Good, you should. Buy the new box set. We are running I call it a challenge. We're running like a little friendly challenge on the Discord server. It's completely free to join. Really nice, small community of artists on there. We all know each other. It's not. I'm a part of a few Discords. They're just too big, too overwhelming, too many notifications, blaring at you constantly. This is a very small community we've managed to foster here. Very encouraging, very communicative. And we are launching into a Tale of Gamers series. The challenge revolves around the new box set. Buy the new box set, paint it up, or buy equivalents. So I think the new box set comes with 6 of these things. What are they called? Saturnine. Substitute them for 6 Terminators. Praetor for Praetor, etc., etc. Just swap them out for an equivalent amount. Because I know not everyone loves Saturnine, or it doesn't suit your play style, but you still want to join in. Well, that's the forum for you. Unfortunately, I just simply haven't got the time to collect a new Legion, because I'll be doing 3 box sets on commission, and we do have 1 slot open. So if you did want a box set painted on release, let us know, and we can set you up. So I'll be painting 3 of those. Instead, I'm just going to freshen up my own Legion. I've got a character, I'm doing an Abaddon. I've started converting up a character from a 3D print from Company of Bitter Iron that looks absolutely beautiful. But in order to give my old collection a bit of a refresh, I'm simply replacing the heads, or rather adding to them, doing different heads to them. So what are everyone's plans for this next day? Oh, this was a really happy accident. Hold on. Okay, so on here, I really lucked out. Like, this is a common accident. This is a common problem when it comes to the hairspray technique. I just simply took too much away. I wish that reflection wasn't there, but there's just too much there. But I kind of saw, in a sort of like Rorschach test way, a symbol of corn. So I decided, okay, life gave me lemons here. Let's scream blood for the blood god and do it. You can see how I chipped it across to create a corn symbol. Did not plan for that at all. Really happy accident. And I wish I knew the term for it, but in Japanese culture, when they drop a piece of crockery, it breaks into 1,000 pieces. Instead of trying to recreate it how it was, they thread gold in between and then rebuild it. So all those cracks and fractures become part of the new entity, becomes part of the new thing, becomes a feature of it, and becomes more beautiful because of its cracks and its flaws. It's a hard thing to compare against a World Eater Dreadnought, but here we are. Here we all are. I don't need any new models, so that's my pile of shame. Does anyone? Do it anyway. Wow, we've got 13 people on board. Where are we all watching from? Bash it down in the comments below. Tell me where you're watching from right now in the world. I'm in sunny South Wales. And there's a lot of people drinking outside. I'm a bit worried they're going to start shouting up at me. Where are we all from in the world? Okay, nice places to create this on. Anywhere you'd add an edge highlight. Edge highlighting bores me to absolute tears. So I can get away with it by chipping along the edges. So that's what I'm doing here. Kitsugi, that's it. Kitsugi, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Matthew. Yeah, that's exactly a Kitsugi. I was trying to think of that analogy earlier today, trying to pitch it towards a student. It just sounded like an idiot. I'm going to drink more. Anybody else drinking tonight? Feels like one of those kind of nights. I just want to kick back, relax, paint a very angry boy. So we're hoping to do these more regularly. So anyway, I'd love to put up start a poll. Okay. What should our next live stream concentrate on? Did I spell all that correctly? Oh, it only gives me 2 options. Let's put faces. Well, that's good. TMM metallics. Okay, I have lots of footage for that. Start poll. Oh, my first poll. Look at that. Okay, I'm doing exactly the same thing with this other Dreadnought. Yes, so I'm curious to see how the poll goes. Sweden, yo, Texas expat in Minnesota. Okay, Joshua and Hax, you guys should get together and game. Because Josh, you're looking for a community, aren't you? This is your Dreadnought, by the way, Joshua. This is your Dreadnought. He's currently armless as we figure out magnetization options. And unfortunately, the kit only comes with like 1 bolt on for it. Like this little underside piece, but many different options for guns and etc. So we're printing out a lot of those like connecting pieces, so we can just simply whack them in there. Yeah, they know what they're doing. The Games Workshop, they know what they're doing. They're squeezing you at every turn. Okay, Portsmouth, exotic bolter, bro. Are we not that far? Are we far apart geographically? I mean, if you jumped in the boat, how quickly could you be here? Okay, that's useless footage. Let's move on. Okay, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I think, oh, it's the white, I think, maybe? I don't know. But I'm starting with like a brownish base color. It's sort of like a British uniform. Okay, Earth. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm doing the white here. Oh, yeah, I remember what I'm doing now. Okay, Earth goes on the base color. So with the white, oh, you can't see this. Hold on. Let me correct this. Whee. Okay. So with the World Eater scheme, this scheme in particular, I don't want a clean white. I want like a dirty, abused, off brownish white. I want to make it seem like the white is just being drenched in gore, head to foot, wiped down. Again, this repetition of process over and over and over again has meant that the white will never be fully clean ever again. I don't really know why I haven't masked off the red. I'm playing fast and loose there. Please, please mask off. It's making me nervous watching this. Why didn't I mask it off? I've ended up with that somehow. Paint the owl. Okay, I'm thinking, my thinking is, just in the same way the legs, kind of looks like a lollipop there. But in the same way I'm thinking like the legs have become discolored with the amount of gore that's being drenched on there, I'm thinking the same with this. So you can have the fade of the red over to the white. It doesn't give the cleanest transition, and I would advise you mask it off. But I think that's my line of thinking there. That there's, that's right, the gore's been caught into those areas, and artificers or servitors just can't quite get in there to clean it off anymore. So that's my first base coat. It's not clean white at all. It is a used, abused, dirty, horrible white that I want to create. Next up, Medea Com Art White, added to the mix. I'm blasting this. Oh, actually, no, I'm okay, Siri. I'm fine. It looks a bit like a Minotaur at the moment, like a non-metallic Minotaur Dreadnought. That was unintentional. Oh, True Metallic Metals is winning. Okay, Italy from Tommaso. No mask off, so you can pull up Bob Ross and say, no mistakes, happy accidents. I think it's just sheer laziness on my part, looking back. It worked out, but this is, I'm going to sound really arrogant here, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to lose viewers. Okay, we've got 10 viewers for this. Okay, let's see how many we drop down to. But my talent outstrips my laziness in this regard. We still have 10. Wow, you're brave. Well done, everyone. Well done for sticking with us. Okay, so whacking on the white here, building up the volumes, concentrating. Okay, where are we looking to build this up? Top here, top of the head, top here, this area, top here, top here. Beautiful, all very nice and above board. Okay, more Medea Combat white because it didn't quite get rid of all the earth in the previous layer. And we build up that white. Okay, let me zoom along here. I'm glad the end of the stream has turned out nicely. The start was so stressful. This is why I don't like live streaming. I remember why I stopped doing this. I've just started learning TMM. Okay, cool. Let's do True Metallics. So I'm running a course at Nova. If you are in Washington at the end of August, God, that's coming up so soon. If you are available, I'm running a course specifically on true metallic metals. I'm also giving the Caravaggio course, so I talk about Caravaggio, his life, his very tumultuous life, and his tumultuous death. What else am I doing? Sculpting. The sculpting class still has seats left. I had a look the other day. So if you want to learn how to sculpt, or like a gentle introduction into sculpting, I'll shape you. I'll shape you like clay. This is where we end up, by the way, after the pre-shade. Oh, after the white. So white centrally, down here, top of the knees. Right, how many viewers do we have? 15! Wow, my arrogance, my skill has created new viewers out of nowhere. God damn, what sentence that was. Okay. What am I doing? Oh, okay, right. A little bit of white, a little bit of water rather on top of here. What I'm looking to do is just bash this into the Dreadnought. Same technique, same methodology. So it must have been after the earth stage. The earth, then I applied hairspray, then subsequent layers. I swear to God, the tutorial's a lot more structured than this. This is me kicking back with my people at the end of a working week, drinking a Corona, just enjoying myself, chatting about the new edition. Like, I'm so excited about this new edition. It gives the shot in the arm the Heresy needs, desperately needs. And if you want to learn more about this edition, just underneath us, Barefoot Miniatures, he is running a whole bunch of videos on the upcoming box set. All the rules, all the Legion rules, the battle report. I'm not sure whether he's even announced this yet, whether I'm even allowed to say. I'm not under an NDA. Fuck you, Max. Watch his channel. It's going to be. I cannot wait to listen to his opinion on it and what he has to say about it. From what our private conversations, from everything I've heard, it is, how to describe it without really putting him in trouble. It's not an evolution. It does feel more like a new game, this next edition. Don't know how much bookkeeping there needs to be done, turn to turn, how much bloat there is, but I guess as people get used to the system, things will go a lot faster. Okay, we get this quite a lot in the comments. What's your biggest anxiety about the new edition? Because we get some really good comments about this stuff. Let me see where I can find one on the last one we did. No, I don't need PPI. Thank you. Shoot. No. Oh, okay. I have to. Okay. The advert has to run for me to get to the comments. Great. Okay. As we do this, what am I doing here? Black. Oh, no, is that black? The Vallejo do a lot of good things, but the black isn't one of them. What the hell am I doing here? Oh, this is a silver. Okay, I've added black to silver. That's why it looks grey. So any kind of dark silver at this stage will do. I think again, laziness. I picked up the nearest silver I had to me. I had black, whacked them together. Because later on we are going to use oils to smash over the top of this to give the nuance. That's what's going to generate the interest in it. So right now, I'm just base coating the entire thing in the darkest silver that I can make to hand. If you're looking for more consistency in your work, yeah, certainly buy that dark metallic color. That's absolutely fine. But all of these Dreadnoughts will go through slightly different experiences. I'll use weathering. I'll use all the same weathering techniques. I'll use all the same top highlights for the silver to break them in. So the consistency on the overall appearance on this army will come in those top layers I'll apply later on, not here. I can be a lot more slapdash, a lot more wishy-washy at this stage. Aged copper is my new favorite color. If you take nothing away from this seminar, buy aged copper. It is phenomenal. It's like decayed metal, but slightly more purple in nature. Okay, I can get to the comments finally. Scroll down. Let's bring you up to an interesting bit. So all like the brass and the bronze bits I do in aged copper. Oh God, where are these comments? I'm not very good at using YouTube. Okay, comments. 19 comments. Okay, so we've had a comment here. Oh, let's put the Dreadnought up on stage. This is from, it's a good one, so I'm not going to say his name, it's on the last video. So far, I'm decidedly mixed on the new edition. On the one hand, streamlining the rules has some good ideas in it. I don't mind the new force organization being freer and avoiding troops tax, as well as making Centurions more playable. But on the other hand, I mourn the loss of flavor. To me, Heresy was fun because of all the stacking of rules interactions, the weird idiosyncrasies, with warlord traits, rights, legion abilities, units, and special rules. Sure, it could be quite unbalanced, but I found Heresy players, like me, tended towards flavorful and odd job lists, rather than just chasing the meta and spamming Dreadnoughts. That's absolutely my experience as well in this community. Like 99% of people are in it for that. Now warlord traits seem to be, if not gone, gutted. Rights of War have been shot by orc snipers, and in turn those restrictions on Legion lists running those rights mean that optimized loadouts are going to become much more popular. Why not take an objectively better option if you get no incentive to stick to fun in character army building? I'll reserve my judgment for the release, but the more I hear, the more I fear Games Workshop is sacrificing character at the altar of in-game consistency. At least to me personally, I don't like that trade. I thought that was just such a wonderful comment, well constructed, well argued about the anxieties of heading into a new edition. I guess my counter argument to that is, yes, the Heresy is a very flavorful bunch of people, and we do lean more towards narrative. But whenever I went to narrative events, inevitably I would see across the board a 10-man last cannon squad and scouts and a Dreadnought. Those were the spine of any list I ran up against. And anything that breaks that hegemony, I think, is a good thing. I'm an optimist at heart. I can't help it. From what I've seen of the rules, what I've seen of the interactions, what I've heard from play testers, from people who have got the box set, they're all generally positive about the new edition. It all seems to be heading in the right direction. Like how reactions, okay, reactions at their core, I still believe are a good addition to the game. It created a much more modern feel to playing a game. But in action, implemented, it just simply went lopsided so quickly. I get the feeling a lot of things, new, innovative things in this edition are going to go the same way. Challenges, for example, very good mechanic. But from what I've heard, there's one gambit that is by far and clearly the best. So you'll use that over and over again, unless we as the community self-police and say you can't use the same gambit twice in a row. A bit like War Dancers in the old Warhammer game. But that does rely on the community to do that. Now you could argue whether that should be the rules writers' responsibility, playtesters' ability, responsibility to pick up on that at the playtesting stage. Who knows? Overall, I am not sad to see second edition go in the same way I was sad to see first edition go. I'm looking forward to see what the third edition has in store for us. Okay, we're coming up to oils at this stage. I'm going to read your comments, because inevitably that would have sparked up a little bit of the debate. Evening, Miles. I hope you are well. Started stressful, ending on a high. Vallejo model color black is the best black. I will hear no slander against it. Hacks, get yourself some Chimera black. It will change your life. Chimera black, as recommended by a professional artist. Okay, oils. Oils are transformative. I love using oils. Gloss varnish the entire miniature, whacked on a couple of... so the decal on here It comes from the 40k set, the 40k Khorne Berserker set. And once that's applied, in comes the oil. So I use a combination of lamp black and, oh gosh, burnt sienna. What's the redder one? Raw sienna. That way, if I have a redder orange, I can create really nice red rust streaks, or I can add black to it to desaturate it and end up with a darker color. So I'll mix in between these. For the white, I want to use a dark brown. For the red areas, I'll lean more towards the black for it. At all times, I'm using a acrylic thinner. God damn, no, not acrylic thinner. Don't use acrylic thinner with oils. You'll absolutely bollocks up your work. I am a professional. I'm a professional. I wish I had another of these. Use artist grade thinner for your oil paints. When you work in them for a long time, geez Louise, we've got 25 people watching. Good God. That is by far and away the most amount of people we've had. Smashed it. Thank you so much. Should we try it? Oh, I've always wanted to do this. Smash a like on that button. Yeah. Follow if you want. We'll be doing these quite a lot more frequently in the future. Share with your auntie who has no idea what the hell this will be about. Smash that like button. Smash that. I'm not going to say that. But okay, I'm applying a pin wash to this essentially, trying to redefine the lines of the miniature. Airbrushing does wonderful things when it comes to like the soft accents in the lines. Very bad at hard edge definition. Edge highlighting, chipping, weathering, great for hard lines, as well as this. The oil stage I use to redefine the miniature, and this is a pin wash. Hopefully everyone's had a go with oils. If you have any questions on oils, feel free to fire them away. Okay, let's have a look. The unbearable weight of massive talent, what can you say? Okay, no mask off so you can pull a block. Oh, yes, okay. Let's catch up. Barefoot Hobby just got sacked by Games Workshop, yeah. Luckily, not many people watch these. So there's that going. Anonymity is going for me. Hacks, Vallejo model color. No, wrong hacks. Okay, more weird one-off Legion-specific units, rules, traits is what makes it fun. Lets you build a fun thematic force. The 40k idea of just painting your Primaris means X color kills it for me. Yeah, what range is the copper paint from? Dark Star paints. It was the Age Copper, it's Dark Star. Yep. On your recommendation, I bought a lot of Dark Star paints and I'm loving them. Good. Looking forward to the class in a few weeks. Good stuff. Yeah, the new edition of the game. Okay, so I mean, this is just a broader question. Do more rules equal a crunchier game? Do more rules equal a better game? Okay, let me preface this by saying I'm not a gamer. I do not play a lot of games. Max has played a lot of games, and off camera when we chat, like 2nd edition, there are a lot of problems with it, like really headache-inducing. Okay, for example, when I went up there to film a game, Argel Tal has a warlord ability that grants Galvor back a 5-up feel no pain if he is the warlord. Problem is we were running Lorgar at the same time, so it invalidated that rule. And he can't fly. That was the straw that broke my back. He can't fucking fly. Argel Tal can't fly. Piss poor. So hopefully, if that doesn't get sorted in the next edition, write it off. Go straight to 4th. What am I doing here? Okay, more pin washing. Okay, oils for the metallics. Okay, so this is a little preview of next week, I guess. For this stage, I've added a little bit more black into my mixture. It's still brown, a little bit more black. Thicken it up. Add a little bit of corn syrup in there. Don't do that. But you thicken up the mixture by adding more pigment to it. And then this covers all of the metallics. This is a technique known as staining. So unlike pin washing, where we're adding it in between the gaps of the miniature to help define it, a big globby whack of paint goes on top of the metallics to stain them. And we leave both of these on for around an hour to 2 hours. That's all you really need. You can leave overnight, come back the day after, remove it, no problem. I'm a bit skittish, so I'll wait around an hour before I start removing them. Game design, we were talking about game design before this. In 3rd edition, when 2nd edition Warhammer 40k transitioned over to 3rd edition, I had some of my most favourite games. Partly because I'm a kid and I don't know what I'm doing, you know, everything's great at that age, but partly because of the simplicity. The rules didn't get in the way of me playing the game or creating the narrative. And when you think back to Heresy 1.0, right at the very beginning, there weren't that many rules interactions. There were marginal changes between Space Marines. So Sons of Horus wasn't that much better than, say, like an Emperor's Children, but those slight marginal changes had a big effect on whether you got the jump on your opponent. And then, of course, we had the rules escalation. And when you compare Reavers to, say, Dawnbreakers right at the very end of 1.0, you may as well be playing different games. So I'm not potentially averse to stripping out a lot of the rules and having the flavor of the Marines come through just a very simple special rule. I hope we get Merciless Fighters back for Sons of Horus. That's what I'm really holding out for. I love that rule. Like the last rule where they got essentially a 4-up feel no pain. Very powerful, but didn't feel very thematic for the Sons of Horus. So I would love to see some iteration of Merciless Fighters come back. Okay, we need more basing tutorials on the Patreon. Type in, not just tufts. There's a full page on there. Hold on, let's have a look. Let's have a look. I'm going to do this live. Not just tufts, little legends. You know, I'm going to leave this playing up in the background as well. Okay, index. So if you want tutorials, oh my lord, my friend, do I have you covered? Not just tufts, you know, leave it on the background. We have a full index. We have Grimdustrial basing. We have Rust basing. We have Siege of Terror basing, Istvan 3, Istvan 5. Dreadnought basing from the Istvan 3 project. Titanicus basing masterclass. Sculpting Fire. Flame basing, Magma basing. Embers of Empire, Horus Ascended. Trenches, Distressed Wraithbone, snow, fluorescent basing. We have more snow. We have more marble bases than you can shake a stick at. Urban bases, Prospero bases, Conrad Kerr's bases, and my favorite, Armageddon bases, which is a take on John Blanche's more orange schemes. And all of these are linked directly to the Patreon, so you type into Google, not just tufts, basing tutorials, take you straight to this page and you can find them straight away. But what basing tutorials would you want? Basing for what? Let me know, because I will make that tutorial. I'll make that go. Oh, speaking of base, look at this. We'll do one right here, right now. You take a sponge and you just sponge the ever-living bejesus out of everything and you become an ace level painter. That's all you need in this hobby now. You don't need any airbrushes. You don't even need good paints. You just need... Oh, this beer is really going to my head. You just need a makeup sponge. That's it. That's it to become a pro. Forge World also got screwed over by a random 40k new edition drop. Yeah, oh my god, yeah. There's the stories I could tell you. I can't, but the stories I could tell you on that. Oh my god. Question for you. With red pre-shade, you get really nice purple shadows. Is that from the red ink over the white purple? No. This will be available for a couple of days. We're taking it down on the Sunday. All of this is going to be hosted again on the Patreon next week. But in order to make red, or the recesses of the red, look really good, use purple ink. So I did the pre-shade, put the red over the top, then I used red ink at the very end to saturate those shadows. So that's what you can do. And I use red ink for even more power. Look at this, just sponge the shit out of everything and it'll look great. Makeup sponges. I'm launching a Kickstarter on these. 50 quid for one. It comes with a little LL on it. It's guaranteed to make you a better painter, mate. I could put this in there. Already I'm thinking about Christmas. I'm already thinking about the Christmas calendar because it takes such a long time to create those tutorials. Oh, okay, so this is from a student from the weekend. How to create a checkerboard pattern really, really quickly. So this tool, this magic tool, comes with like these indented grooves. You put Tamiya tape on them, glide it across, and you create little crosses for yourself. Now you can buy this tool via Little Legend website. It's on there right now. We'll get it shipped over to you. But it's a very quick, very easy way of creating lots and lots and lots of checkers very quickly. I just have to be very careful in their placement. So this is from a student on the course, by the way. This wasn't painted by me. This was painted by somebody. I think it was either him or his brother hadn't used an airbrush before. I'm going to say it's him because it makes me sound more impressive, because I taught him how to do this. He's never even seen a Dreadnought before, and he's producing this. Sponge Gang. Okay. Right. Need more basing tutorials. How have I not seen this basing page before? That's okay. Not many people go on the website. I haven't updated the tutorial section. They're going through like a big overhaul in the run up to 3.0. But most of the tutorials that I've produced on the Patreon are linked on the website, because I know Patreon is not the easiest to navigate. That's why I've created a searchable database on the website. I've given it a bit of a facelift recently as well. My symbol and like redone the Painting the Legion section, so you can find all the PDFs, you can find all the videos. So the Heresy section is in a very, very good place. Okay. Checkerboard pattern. Okay, more sponges, more red, more everything. Cador red, which is phenomenal to highlight the dark red we've built up so far. Okay, what else we got? Forge rolls got screwed over. Yep. Oh my god, yeah, they did. What else we got? Armageddon bases, my beloved. Love them. Patreon search system is a little wonky. Yeah, tell me about it. It needs an update. I need to spend a whole week doing nothing but updating it. But that means we won't get a tutorial for that week. The sacrifice is coming soon. Okay, what am I doing here? What the hell am I doing with the sponge? Oh, I have no idea what that orange is called. I'm awfully sorry. It's hold on. Oh, hold on, I got a chart. Everyone. Scorn red, no, that's Cador red. Yes, Cador red. Cygnus yellow, no, that's not it. Where's the orange on here? Cador red. Captain Red. So that's the name of that orange. It's called Captain Red. And it does wonders for highlighting this. Don't want that. Okay, let's drag this down so you can see what I'm doing. One of the wonders of the machine not loading up correctly is we've ended up with a very janky, wonky stream tonight. But I hope you're all enjoying. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it because of you. I'm enjoying it because I enjoy talking to you. Okay, so along the edges of the armor, let's see where they can zoom in. Let's let it run on a little bit. Okay. Okay, perfect point. Okay, let me zoom in. Whee! See if I can zoom in a little bit more. Okay, you can see the slight discoloration I'm getting on the edge. So the sponge here, instead of being used to paint a miniature, is instead being used to create the first chipped layer of an edge highlight. The sponge is unusually good at creating an edge highlight, especially on a larger vehicle like this. So I've simply used my highlight color from the airbrushing stage. I've watered the sponge ever so slightly, dabbed it. I should have put this on a thumbnail. I would have got a lot more views. Dab it off, soak it in the red until you get the paint should feel how it comes out of the pot. Unusual thing to say, I know, but the moisture loaded up into the sponge will allow it to transfer a lot easier. Let's zoom in on a little bit. Spongy. And I really like using the sponge to develop texture on the piece. Yeah, Captain Red. So Gossu Paints is working on some Thalax and used these as a test bed for my AdMech and Red dialed in. Okay, try sponges on the edge of your stuff. It really works really well. Can you reuse the sponges? Yes, you can. You got to clean them out. They're exactly the same as brushes. Run them in water, clean them out, bleed off excess, leave them dry. Just get rid of all the paint. Yeah, I've been using mine for a couple of months now. Heresy Hobbyist, for Dreadnoughts, how do you distinguish the staining oil streak stage differently without looking like a million different streaks? How do I do the oils? So you could do them different lengths. So like a rivet on the chest would be slightly longer than, say, like on the top where there's nowhere for it to really run. You can also use different quantities of paint. So you have a mixture of brown and black. Use slightly more black in some areas, slightly more brown in another. That's how you could go about doing it. Okay, just want to check. Okay, we've got lots of time. We've got lots and lots and lots of time. Right, let's carry on with this. I'm taking a knife now to score this bad boy up. I have to say, the oils have dried. I've removed excess from the metallics. I've cleaned up any mistakes, and I've applied a matte varnish over the top of this. So that, up until the stage, that's what you need to do. That's the process. And then we come to the chipping stage. I'm using the same colors I used in the... I don't like using airbrush paints or paints specifically for airbrushing because I feel like I can't use them in regular painting like this. Now, the Formula P3 paints, they do dilute very nicely. They run through the airbrush great. They paint great, come with a really nice variety of colors. I was skeptical when they first come out. I thought it was more of like an advertisement thing. They do feel like colors from back in the early 2000s. And I wondered if that type of paint had a place anymore in today's painting landscape, where you have like artist grade paints. And my favorite paints to use are Vallejo. It's these. I think they are the best of all worlds. But the Formula P3, really lovely paint set to use, and you're not going to feel shortchanged if you do pick any up. And you can see just the multiplicity of different things I use. It's not just a sponge. I'm not just using a knife. I'm not just using one technique. I'm building techniques one on top of another to create the scratches, the wear and tear, the incidental wear and tear you get, or the bullet scratches, or the nicking, or the pitting that comes in the armor. It's not just one thing I'm trying to do. Okay, I'll be entering my Sigismund into Nova. Oh, nice. Right, I will see that I used your tutorial for. Right, if I'm judging, you're definitely going to win then. I got 2 silvers last year. I'm excited this time around. Nice. Sigismund. I really want the sponge stuff, seeing in metas you use them. Well, I really want to try the sponge stuff. So the reason why you keep seeing them being used online is, and this is a horrible thing to admit, but you get a much more social interaction of using them. If you advertise them like that, I have found that they are a very good way of creating chipping across the surface of a miniature. But if you present a video tutorial that is novel, you get more views. And I dare say some creators out there might be using them for that. I'm kettle calling black, okay? Very much hold a mirror up to me. I look at my social interaction, look at my Instagram, that kind of thing. By far and away, the sponge, the spike in views you get off that. So of course, it's like, okay, I'm going to make more videos with a sponge. What else can I do with a sponge? It's a good tool. It's a good tool to use. But people like me exploit its innocence. Put it that way. I don't want to call anyone else anything, because I'm doing exactly the same thing. Okay, dry brush paints. Love dry brush paints. Let me zoom out here. Very good, very quick way of establishing the silver back on the silver areas, because we've applied matte varnish over everything and you lose the shine in the metallics. So what do we have here? The metallic paints, they're from MIG ammo. I'm using light metal and gunmetal. So gunmetal goes on first because it's the darker one. I'm using a Rosemary & Co. dry brush for this, and I'm looking to hit the internal mechanisms. So let's zoom in on this to just help add that metallic pigment back in there. So this is the reason why you don't need to be too specific in the initial base coat that you put down. You can be a bit wishy-washy with it because the consistency comes here. I use exactly the same metallics throughout the project. So if you're lazy, pick up the silver next to you, add black to it, you're going to end up with something good like this. That's fascinating. I'm a fascinating guy. I find the red the toughest color to paint. Okay, good. Hopefully give you a few tips here for it. I've just done a word bearer tutorial that goes really in depth on the pre-shading process and how you can get more out of your painting by doing that. Have a look at that video. Okay, have a look at that video because I think you can get a lot of good usage out of it. Do you ever find your airbrushed layers are too thin and fragile? Yes. Like, do you find you need to varnish after almost every step? No. I simply thicken up the mixture. Is there anything in particular that you have a problem with, like any particular colors, any particular paint ranges? No, I don't have that problem. At the beginning of the video, when I airbrushed the color on, it started to split and break apart. That's because the surface tension on there, you need to allow it to dry. Take a deep breath, drink a Corona, other beers available, just chill, put another layer down. Inks have a propensity to split, or your mixture might be off. Now, if you type into Google Little Legend Gunk, that's my own custom recipe for my airbrush thinner. I find that works with most paint ranges. If you are having trouble with dry tip, use more satin medium in the mixture, because I'll slow the drying time. Okay. Hope you get your monies out of this, by the way. If you have any questions, it doesn't have to be about this in particular. It could be about any subject. Okay. Can I show you this? So this is another social media trending thing. Whenever I put this in a reel or a video, the views go, whee! What is this thing? I got called all sorts of names for putting this in my social media. Like, oh, I can't believe you just figured this out. You go, oh, people have been using this since the Stone Age. Okay. I appreciate other people might have used this before. I appreciate that this device isn't unique to me, but I have just discovered it. I'm enthusiastic to share it. Okay? Don't call me a C word for it. But what this is, goes into various different guises, various different names. I know it as a microchip picker. Look at that, so it comes at the end. So this is a microchip picker, or a pickle picker. Take a bit of sponge, pop down the end, and it makes it easier to sponge chip. That's what that is. That's all it is. You can buy them on Amazon for like $5. They aren't that much. You could buy I think I bought a pack of 2 for like £5. Okay. Oh no, where have we gone? No, my pickle picker's gone. Ah! I knew it'd all come apart with the pickle picker. Yeah, so that's a good one. That's another good social media sort of like hack. I feel like a hack. But whenever you put that on screen, my God, the views go. But what's really good for is just holding sponge. I mean, a lot of people use like the ferrule, like the plastic ferrule that comes with your brush. Just thread it into that. That's fine. It just makes it. If you're doing it over a long period of time, your hand starts to hurt. Okay, we're all human. We're not all superhuman like that guy who called me a C word on Instagram. We can't all be Mr. Alpha Male. We can't all have discovered fire at the beginning of time and know every single painting trick there is to know. It's a process of discovery, of enlightenment, and revelation is a process. But this gives pitting to the armor. It's a really nice little extra technique, and you can do it on smaller miniatures as well. Okay. Right, depends. I use a lot of Liquitex titanium white for my Death Guard under brown. I'll check out the gunk thing. Yeah, give it a whirl. Give gunk a whirl. Evolution of the sponge on a stick, exactly. Looks like something an apothecary would use to yonk out some gene seed. Yeah, I wonder whether something like this could be used to remove gallstones, like the hard way. Looks like something an apothecary. Yeah. Message retracted. Oh my God, are you the guy who called me a C word? Niels Victor Groven. Yeah, you're definitely the guy. I don't know if you're the guy. 25 concurrent viewers. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Thank you all for joining me for this ridiculous hobby, for making my evening, because it started out quite stressful. The video wasn't working. Nothing was working. I was doing my nut. But I got to enjoy a beer. I got to enjoy company with you fine people. Okay, we are coming up to the end of the stream, so we're going to be ending in the next like 5 minutes or so. Covered a lot of ground here. Pickle pickers, social media trends, sponges, how to paint red, getting the most out of your chipping, the anxiety of the new edition. And it is real. People should be anxious. Change is anxiety inducing. I do not blame people whatsoever for it. Okay. There's one final bit I want to get onto. It's this. So like all the bronze and metallic we use. Oh, that wasn't on screen. Hold on. Don't worry. I'm not going to shortchange you. This is bright gold and copper. So once we've applied the aged copper on top and then we've drenched it with oils, it's looking quite dark, and we've added matte over the top. Doesn't look great. So this is where we come in with these two bad boys to save the day. The dry brush paints give me some really good fast results. You can use a regular brush, dry brush. So we've gone in with the warmer coppery tone first. Let me make sure that's centered correctly for everyone to enjoy. Let's zoom in. Again, this was taken from a painting weekend where we did nothing but dreadnoughts. All the participants walked away with a dreadnought, a professionally painted dreadnought. And we're running another course on painting your first bust. That's coming up in a couple of weeks' time. And then the big one, we're doing Paint Horus Lupercal. Tickets are available for that right now. One weekend, you will paint a Primarch alongside me. I will show you step by step the paints I use, how I go about visualizing the scheme, and all these little tips and tricks to give you a very highly polished result that won't take years to complete. And it was with a specific emphasis on the face and the base, because that big marble base deserves a lot of respect, and the underglow effect. Get that right, everything else falls into place. But in one weekend, it's the first Primarch course I've run like this. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm preparing materials for it now. Oh, and Nova. If you're in Washington, I am teaching at Nova. I think there are a few one-to-one classes available. I'm also doing getting the most out of your true metallic metals. Caravaggio talk. No painting involved. It's just me talking you through the life of Caravaggio, his technique, and how it can influence your own work. I'm also doing beginner sculpting as well. So if you're a bit unsure on how to manipulate green stuff, that's the time for you. Okay, we are rounding this up in the next like 10-ish minutes or so. So if you have any questions, concerns, problems, if you want to hurl abuse at me of being a sellout for using a sponge in this tutorial or a pickle picker, now is the time to do it. Glad I could catch it live. Yeah, any paints recommended to bring for the class in a few weeks' time? I'll be creating a WhatsApp group next week, and we'll be chatting in that. Yeah, but ultimately your favorite paints, because a lot of it is about learning to manipulate and mix your paints, and the studio's outfitted for this. It is a professional painting studio. It's huge. It comes with all the paints, like a full set of Vallejo paints is ready and raring for you to come. Inks, oils, everything. If you haven't brought it, if you can't think it, we have it here for you. We've got you covered. But yeah, I will send out a list. Okay, glad I got to swing by and catch a stream. Oh, Miles, any progress on your Abaddon? Oh, you want to see that? Okay, I'll finish off the stream with that. There's one thing I want to show you. So one of our students, he painted this rather fetching ultramarine dreadnought. Very proud of him, very proud. But he wanted to do the silliest thing at the end. Another great social media. God, I really have sold out with this. Yeah, I'm going to lean into it. Anyone want to send a super chat? You can do that. I'll put my PayPal information. You can send me money just for this. But what you want to do is like the lightning strikes across it. So we took a very thin aluminium wire. What is this? Okay, so this is Salix Crafts 0.4 millimeter copper wire. Very, very, very thin wire, cracked and placed and manipulated and glued in. Painted titanium white, because it is a much stronger white, so painted in titanium white over the top. Then we took the most fluorescent pink that we could and airbrushed this over the top. So that's how you do that effect as well. Any progress on the Abaddon Horus Mini? I was working on it today, funnily enough. Okay, should we finish on that? Okay, so that's how you do that technique. That is painting Dreadnoughts. That is one of the things you do to paint Dreadnoughts. That's from one of our courses. Very proud of that Dreadnought course. We run it at least once a year. It gives people opportunity to paint a professional Dreadnought. But let's have a look at the Abaddon, shall we? Here. Voila. So I've started building the airbrushing stages, creating a much smoother volume along here. So again, airbrushing does volumes very well, but it is terrible at creating that grit. That's why in the last stream I showed you how to produce that base, that grittiness, right at the very outset of the paint job. Seems like a good place to leave it. Thank you everyone so much for making this such a pleasurable experience. The next live stream is on next week. Yes, it's on next week. Missing 1 week after that. And what we voted for? Oh, it's a dead tie between Faces and True Metallic Metal. Okay, that means I'll do something of my own choosing. Again, thank you so much for joining.